Ali, time for today's transfer rater. And I want to start in the Midlands in England with Aston Villa. They've already signed Philippe Coutinho. They've got Luca Digne as well. But reports in Spain are suggesting that Luis Suarez could be reunited with Steven Gerrard. What did you make of that speculation when you heard
it? Hey, Aston Villa, reclamation project. Great. Look, if we are to believe, and this is what we're told time and time again, that the difference between the Premier League and other leagues around the world, specifically La Liga, is the pace of the game, how quick it is, how back and forth it is. Okay, I can tell you this much. Luis Suarez, at this point in his career, it's not about pace. It's not about back and forth. He has become exclusively a guy who works inside the 18-yard box. And if you provide him with a chance, he's still good enough to put those chances away. But if you want this guy to run into channels, for diagonal movement, to give you the work that you need in transition offensively, because we assume that Aston Villa is going to be absorbing some pressure defensively, and then you need to go on the run. This is not your guy. Luis Suarez has been a tremendously productive player, and at one point, the best out-and-out striker in the world. But that's not what he is now. He has difficulties moving around the field. If I were Aston Villa, I would look elsewhere, though I know and I recognize that it's difficult to turn away from a name like Luis Suarez.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good point. It depends on the style that they're going to play. If they've got enough players around in the system, in that jigsaw, that's going to do all the work for him and do the providing, and he just needs to stand in the box and put the ball in the back of the net, that's different. But with the formation that he's playing in a kind of 3-4-2-1, it'll be interesting to see if Luis Suarez and Aston Villa become a commodity. Some of the other speculation, and this one's been kind of doing the rounds for more than a week now, it's Sevilla's Diego Carlos, the big centre-back, who kind of plays to the left-hand side of the central defence in a back four, linked with Newcastle. It's either happening or it's not happening, but it's been dragging on for a while. Does it make sense for you?
Not from the perspective of Sevilla. You are the only, and I mean the only title contender to Real Madrid. The only team that could potentially compete with Real Madrid and trying to win the title in La Liga. You cannot allow yourself to have your starting center back walk out the door when indeed there is a chance for you to compete for a title. This is a unique season in that Atletico Madrid's out of the race, Barcelona's out of the race. So it's up to you, Sevilla, whether you can chase down Real Madrid. What are you saying to the rest of your team? What are you saying to your fans? What are you saying to the organization if you say, yeah, you know what, our superstar center back, yeah, our starting guy, yeah, he's going to walk out the door and go to Newcastle. Now, if you're Sevilla, you cannot allow this to happen. I don't care how much Newcastle offers.
Let's stay with Newcastle. And if I was asked for one player that could help avoid, or a team avoid relegation, a striker perhaps, I'm not sure Mario Balotelli would be that player this day and age. There's a lot of baggage that comes with Balotelli. Yes, there's talent, but would he be the player that you're looking for to perhaps team up with Chris Wood until Callum Wilson comes back to save yourself from the Premier League drop zone?
No. Also, no. And there's nothing else to say other than no.
Let's move swiftly on, thankfully. Ousmane Dembele's story. Steady. Ousmane Dembele's story. I want to read you a quote from Xavi. He said, Dembele has to sign a new contract or we find a way to sell him in January. No other way. What should be done with this one?
For Barcelona, they have to step away from the vehicle. Okay? Look, back up. Do not fall into the trap of chasing after Ousmane Dembele because you're desperate to make some sort of splash and to have some sort of positive news for your club. No, Ousmane Dembele has not been the guy that you thought you were getting. There hasn't been enough consistent production. There's been a whole lot of injury issues. And even when he hasn't been injured, he hasn't been productive enough. And so at this point, you just say, you know what? No, it's not going to work out for us. Ousmane, Thank you for your services. We wish you all the best in the future, but it's not going to be here in Barcelona.
Fifth and final one for the transfer rater. There's certain phrases in football, Ali, you only seem to get when the transfer window is open. Step up the chase is one of them. Look, I wonder how many of players that are actually linked actually complete the move to the team that they're linked with. It's a low percentage, but this is the time of year when journalists speak to agents and the agents do their job and they get their player linked with another team. One of them is Monaco's defensive midfielder, Aurelien Tchouameni. Decent player, but is he a possible long-term replacement for N'Golo Kante?
And that's a part that I find to be so humorous and funny about this, that the same people that refer to Tchouameni as a long-term replacement for N'Golo Kante were people that back in the day didn't even know who N'Golo Kante was, right? So when he was in the backwaters of France somewhere and then gets sold into Leicester and you're like, wow, whoever is this guy? Right. And then the kid starts running around and covering spaces the way that he does and showing the energy the way that he does and becomes a critical part of success of Leicester and then Chelsea in the future. Then all of a sudden we're going to go chase around for the next N'Golo Kante. And he doesn't just show up, you know, it isn't like that you find a guy with that skill set and that makeup and that personality and just say, yeah, here's the next N'Golo Kante. It is so very difficult. You didn't even know about N'Golo Kante before. He showed up and showed you what he was. Now Tchouameni is supposed to be what N'Golo Kante became. And N'Golo Kante became the best defensive midfielder in the world. And at times, the best midfielder, period. And how important he was to the success of the team that he was a part of. You can't put that sort of pressure now on the next guy because, well, look at this guy. Oh, yeah, he's from France. He's a young French player, 21 years old. Yeah, he should be N'Golo Kante. Of course, we're going to put him in there, and he's going to cover that role, and he's going to cover that same space, and he's going to have that same sort of impact. Good luck with that, man. N'Golo Kante has been an excellent player. Excellent. And I mean world-class player in his position for the role that he fulfills. In order to become that sort of level of player, Tchouameni has a lot of work to do.
Ali, finally, I don't normally revisit players that we've spoken about on the transfer radar, but I just want you to make it clear. I'm not sure how clear you made it with regards to Balotelli and Newcastle. Can you just make it a little bit clearer if you think that is an option for Newcastle, just because?
So I'm going to say it in English and I'm going to say it in Spanish as well.
Oh, okay.
No and no.
Okay. Pretty clear to me.
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN Plus.